Greetings, Admiral Joker here, and we're going to spend some time to talk about, well, quite frankly, 2018. 2018's over, and I really want to talk about what I saw, what I experienced, and what fun I've had this year. Let's go ahead and start with films that I've actually had time to actually go out and see this year. I didn't actually get to see as many films as I really wanted to this year. Kind of depressed about that a little bit, but is what it is. Let's go ahead and talk about a few of the movies that I did go see and really did actually enjoy. Starting off in January, there really weren't too many movies released I really wanted to go see. January's are pretty busy for me with work and everything, so I didn't really head out to go see anything. I didn't watch anything that really came out that year around that time either. I did in February go see Black Panther though. I didn't hate the movie at all. I actually thought it was okay for a average Marvel film. I didn't think it was anything special. I didn't think it was anything fantastic. I didn't think it was anything, spectacular. I thought it was okay. Michael B. Jordan was amazing in it, as was Andy Serkis, who sadly didn't last long in the movie. But again, it's just, to me, an average superhero film, which going into a movie like that is what I'm expecting. Marvel's usually pretty middle of the road with most of their fare. Black Panther was not an exception to that rule. I know a lot of people are claiming it's groundbreaking because it has a black superhero and all that stuff, but to me, it is Black Panther. It is what it is. To me, it's just a standard superhero movie. Not bad, not good, just okay, worth going to go see. Moving into March, again, I didn't really see too much that came out around that time. I was kind of surprised at that. There are a few movies I do plan on checking out. I heard good things about Red Sparrow. And I do want to check out Hurricane Heights. I do want to see the new Death Wish movie. I know they're horrible movies, but I dig those kinds of things, so I do want to check them out. I did see Ready Player One, though. I actually really enjoyed Ready Player One. I know a lot of people probably don't care for it. I did not read the book. I'm aware of it. I picked it up once, tried to read it. Couldn't really get past the writing style too much. I know a lot of people call it, reference the movie, because there's a lot of references to film and TV, or a lot of references to 80s and 90s pop culture in it, which is kind of the point of the movie. Mostly 80s pop culture. But you know what? I don't have a problem with that. I like reference movies. I enjoyed the heck out of Scott Pilgrim, and this is more like a very big budget kind of a reference film in the vein of Scott Pilgrim. It's got some wonderful, interesting characters, an interesting concept, a scavenger hunt in a virtual world. Yeah, nothing too original. We've seen this before. As a fan of anime, it's a trope in a lot of different anime, especially something like Dot Hack. So it's nothing new with that. But again, it scratched an edge for seeing this kind of high concept, or this kind of, I will say high, it is kind of high concept because it does require, some kind of interest in VR and 80s and technical stuff in order to really get into it. It's a video game movie. That's really all it is. It's a video game movie. It is a pure video game put on film. And I loved it. Other films that came out in April, I saw Rampage. I actually went into that thinking it was actually just going to be a average rock action flick. It's a movie based on a video game. What exactly am I expecting here? Surprisingly, it's very good. I didn't dislike it. I thought it's. I know it has like a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, but to me, this is a giant monster movie, and I don't ask for a lot with giant monster movies. All I really want are giant monsters fighting, and I got that. It did a better job at it than the Godzilla movie that recently came out. Not the Toho one too, but the Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie. Again, it's a giant monster movie with giant ape fighting a giant mutant ape, fighting a giant mutant lizard, fighting a giant mutant wolf. What are you expecting? It's silly, it's dumb. The performances are way the hell over the top, especially with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's very over the top. But again, it's an over-the-top monster flick. If that's what you want, check out Rampage. It's not a bad waste of about an hour and a half. I had no problems with it. Affinity Wars. I really, really liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Again, to me, most superheroes are middle of the ground, and I think this one was actually above average. I was kind of wondering how are they going to shove all those characters into one film, and they did it rather well. You know, some characters are very short, are given the short end of the stick, especially overreacting of sorts. Personally, I had no problems with it. You know, you're going to watch a movie like this. These are characters that people have spent the last decade loving and appreciating. They're going to have a reaction to this kind of film, and I kind of understand that reaction. I'm happy when people have these kinds of reactions, personally. You know, it shows investment in film, and not many films these days really kind of hit people like they used to anymore. I'll be one of the first people to admit, I cry at the end of Rocky every single time. I tear up a little bit. I don't care. I love that. And, you know, this is a film that would inspire those kinds of emotions. So, you know, if it did, great. Granted, most of those characters are going to be back in the next film anyways. Obviously, Spider-Man's coming back. Black Panther's coming back. They'll probably leave some of the characters dead or will die that are going to be leaving us, such as Thor. Pretty much all the big players who've been there for the last 10 years are gone. Evans is gone. Hemsworth is gone. Downey Jr. is going to be gone. Those three are going to be gone. And Ruffalo, I think he's about up or is near up on his contract. So is Samuel Jackson. So there's going to be some major changes in the Marvel universe after this, after Endgame. So I kind of look forward to that personally. I didn't get a chance to see Deadpool 2, to be honest. I'm not really that interested. I liked the first Deadpool movie. It's a one-joke film. To make a second film like that, I don't think it's going to go over well. The previews did not make me want to go see that, and I doubt I'm ever going to go see it. Sorry. Kind of surprisingly, I didn't see Solo yet. Another Star Wars movie I have not seen yet. Why? I'll be honest. The last couple Star Wars movies have kind of been burning me out. Star Wars used to be an event thing to me. You know, you'd go see Star Wars and you'd be like, great, Star Wars. I love Star Wars. You know, yay, new prequels. Yes, you know, I actually enjoyed the prequels. Yes, I sadly will admit that I enjoyed Phantom Menace. I enjoyed Attack of the Clones. And I'm sorry, Revenge of the Sith is a decent film. Star Wars is not high concept to me. I don't expect, you know, fantastic things from a Star Wars film. A lot of people expect, you know, high quality science fiction from these. Me, I just want a good time. Last Jedi pissed off a lot of people. While I liked Last Jedi, I'll admit I'm kind of getting Star Wars down. Every year we were getting a Star Wars film, and I just was like, I'll wait for it to come on video. I don't know if I really want to spend the money to go see it at this point. I just couldn't drag myself to go see it. Ironically, I was kind of the same way with Incredibles 2. I really want to see that, but it's kind of like, I don't know if it's going to live up to what I wanted it to be. I've been wanting this film since the original Incredibles came out, which is one of my favorite animated films of all time. And I'm kind of like, I want to go see it, but I don't know if it'll live up to the hype that I really wanted it to be and be disappointed. So I really do need to check that out. Also in June, I caught on a flight recently Won't You Be My Neighbor, which is a wonderful, wonderful documentary on Fred Rogers. I thought it was a great documentary and homage to a guy who anyone who grew up in the 70s and 80s remember quite fondly on PBS. Mrs. Rogers' Neighborhood was as much a part of my early childhood as Sesame Street was. And while I think I was not as appreciative of him when I was younger, as I got older, I gained a newfound respect for him and for his show. And this is a very lovely tribute to him. If you haven't seen Won't You Be My Neighbor, go check it out. It's easily one of the best documentaries I've seen this year, if not one of the best documentaries I've seen in quite some time. I highly recommend it. Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Oh boy. It's a freaking mess of a film. I like Jurassic World, but this was a mess. Interesting setup to where the franchise is going to go. Things that people are going to I see where they're going, and this is kind of the direction where I think people are wanting to see the franchise go since the beginning. People are like, when are dinosaurs going to go on land? I want to see dinosaurs, I want to do what I did with the toys when I was a kid. And to be honest, it's kind of what this film does. It's kind of like someone was playing with Jurassic Park action figures and was told, go make a movie of what you did with the action figures. Because it really does feel like that. I mean, you're talking about dinosaurs who are going to be like used as military weapons, which was kind of set up in Jurassic World, but they finally kind of came to fruition with this one because they were selling them off kind of like weapons of massive destruction. Interesting concept. I want to see where it goes, but by no means is it a great or quality film. I'm interested to see where it goes. My kids kind of enjoyed it, but you're starting to wear it your welcome again, Jurassic Park. I did see Ant-Man and Wasp, which came out in July. I saw that recently. Above average superhero movie. I enjoyed the first Ant-Man movie. I thought it was okay, but Ant-Man and Wasp is a far, far superior film to the first one. The comedy is on point. I am a fan of Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly. Both of them are on point. Walton Goggins is in it, which immediately rises it to another level to me because I love Walton Goggins and I am biased on anything he's in. Even Michael Douglas had some great comedy moments in it. Personally, I think this is the high mark in Marvel films this year, more than Avengers and more than Black Panther. I highly recommend you check it out. It does take place before Avengers, spoiler, and does explain why Ant-Man isn't in Avengers, so make sure you stay after the credits. Check it out if you want a good, funny superhero flick. Check it out. Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I saw that on a flight recently. I'm not the biggest Teen Titans Go fan. I mean, I do watch it on occasion because my kids do, and sometimes I do find it really, really funny. Especially I find the Oregon Trail episode and a few of the others actually really funny. I wasn't sure how it was going to translate to film. I kind of more anticipated something like this going to be one of the direct-to-videos that Warner's does, not an actual theatrical release. But I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was okay. I watched it on a flight. I didn't hate it. I didn't feel like my time was wasted watching it on a flight. If you want to, something sit down with the kids and actually just enjoy good, clean, fun, it works. It doesn't speak on every level. There are some adult jokes in there, especially the mid credit or the end credits. Or the final joke in it is actually pretty funny. I won't spoil it for those who watch it. But it's fine. If you just want something to sit down and enjoy with the kids and not be bored out of your mind, or just, here, you watch this while I leave the room, and something to watch together with family, check it out. It's actually really good. The Meg. I saw that in August. Again, I'm a sucker for giant monster movies, so it's not hard to please me with these. This one pleased me. It's stupid. It's not a very good movie. The CG is not very great. I've read the book. It has nothing to do with the book outside of some bare similarities to it. So it was okay. I think the big issue with Meg was just, it obviously was trying to be sold as an international movie. You could tell that they were trying to sell it in China very heavily, and that's where they were betting they're going to make the most amount of money. And looking at what it made, I agree. That is pretty much where they made all their money, in China. I don't know if we're going to see a sequel to it, but I hope so. It's a decent monster flick that, I don't see many of those in this day and age that don't just bore me to death, to be honest. I know I'm giving a lot of praise to things, but like I said, I'm not that hard to please. Mostly I just look for something entertaining without actually saying it's god-awful. So, The Predator. Oh boy. Okay, so I am a big fan of the Predator and Alien franchise. A lot of people hate this movie. I understand why. I do. I understand exactly why you hate this movie. I don't hate it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was not the worst in the Predator franchise by far. To me, that's still Requiem, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. But I don't think it holds a candle to the first or second one. And it's maybe about on par with the third one, or with the Predators. At least in terms of just what goes on. It has a lot of what the fuck, this doesn't make sense moments, or why does this happen moments. Predators had a very similar problem, although I think Predators was technically more apt than this one was. The jokes did not always work. I had a problem with autism being the future of humanity. Whatever the hell is up with that? And obvious, the third act was completely rewritten, and it was set up to where Dutch was supposed to appear, but they couldn't get Arnold, or they either filmed it and cut it, and instead you ended up with what essentially was the Predator Iron Man at the end of the film, and you're like, oh my god, what the hell is this crap? Again, it left it very epinomic like Predators did, so that's why I say it's about on par. I think Predators is probably a better movie, but this one isn't it's okay. It's an okay watch if you're a fan of the franchise. If you're a big fan of the franchise, there's a good chance you're going to hate this film. But if you're a casual fan, you're probably going to enjoy it, at least as much as I probably did. It had some jokes that worked, but in a lot of cases, it fell flat, or it had some real structure problems. Didn't see Venom yet. It's on my list. To be honest, the trailers didn't look that great. I'm not a big Tom Hardy fan, except for I liked him in Mad Max. And to be honest, Sony's track record with Spider-Man films is not that great, except for Homecoming, which was more of a Marvel film than theirs. So I'm not exactly sure how this one panned out, and by the sound of it, it's going to be middling at best. By the way, you want to join in, hit me up with Skype on Admiral Joker. I am allowing call-ins, so be sure to join in. I'd like to talk to somebody other than myself. And all you on the stream in the chat. Yeah, Gamers Unplugged said, definitely a good documentary called On Southwest Flight. Yeah, that's where I saw it. I liked it a lot. Halloween. I actually was looking forward to this, but sadly I couldn't get around to seeing it because of work. I plan on checking it out. I thought the trailer looked really, really good. I want to see it and see how it pans out. I know a lot of people, it was very middling. Either it's a good movie or a bad movie. I thought it looked actually pretty good compared to the Rob Zombie ones, which I hate with a passion. So I'll definitely have to check that one out. Same with Bohemian Rhapsody. I heard good things and bad things. Didn't check it out because I was kind of tight for cash. But I will be checking that out pretty soon and give another update on it. But it looks interesting. As a huge Queen fan, I really want to see this movie. So, Fantastic Beasts. Again, it's the first Harry Potter movie I didn't see in theaters. Why? Because, to be honest, Fantastic Beasts the first one didn't really click with me very well. It felt half-assed, like a cheap cash-in, which is actually Rowling wrote the damn thing. And it just looked like this was just furthering of that trend. Like, I need to stay relevant, I need to make money, so I'm going to shuffle out this crap that people will watch because it's Harry Potter. So people automatically watch it. I'm not up for that. I'll probably buy it and watch it because I'm a Harry Potter fan, but I don't know. A lot of people didn't like it, and I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about the end either. Ralph Breaks the Internet. I liked Wreck-It Ralph, but again, I felt that was a one-joke film, so I didn't want to go see it because I didn't think that the sequel was going to be much better. Creed 2. I've been busy and haven't had to check it out. I'll check it out when it comes out in video. This one, on the other hand, I was really looking forward to because I am a huge Rocky fan. And I loved Creed. Creed was one of my best films of the year when it came out. I forgot what year it came out. But I loved that movie so much. And is one great film and was a worthy successor to that franchise. So I'll definitely have to check it out when it comes out in video. In December, unfortunately, I haven't seen too much this year, or that month that just passed. I do plan on checking out those Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. I heard nothing but good things. I will be seeing Mary Poppins Returns because I am a fan of Mary Poppins and Disney, so I will be checking that out. Aquaman, I've heard lots of good things about it as being the best DC film, which, to be honest, doesn't surprise me. And Bumblebee, I heard, is the Transformers movie you've always wanted. So I will be checking those out lately. On the video game front, surprisingly, I haven't played too much this year. I know I run a gaming site. You figured you'd play a lot more video games. No, not really, because to be honest, I've been kind of busy with work and school. But I plan on remedying that. But I have played some of the games in 2018. And I played the new God of War game, which, to be honest, has to be my running for game of the year. It is a fantastic game. Completely does something different with the franchise than what came before. It's more of an open world, Breath of the Wild, Far Cry, Skyrim kind of game, rather than a straightforward just hack and slash game. There are some hack and slash elements to it that define that franchise, but they've moved further away from that and were more integrated into the story and character development, which I felt was a necessary step for the franchise. It definitely reinvented that franchise, the same Breath of the Wild reinvented the Zelda franchise. I give much kudos to Sony for what they did for that. It's a fantastic game. Make sure you check it out. Bloodstained: Circle of the Moon. That's another game I played this year. I think it came out this year. I think it came out this year, but I know I played it this year. It is a throwback to Castlevania 3. It's actually a spin-off of Bloodstained, which is a game by Igarashi, who created the Castlevania games and Symphony of the Night. And for those that don't know, pretty much all the players at Konami left because Konami's pretty much saying our future isn't in video games. So he said, screw you guys, I'm going to go make my own Castlevania game and do it the way I want to do it. Well, that's still not out yet. It's supposed to be out next year, supposedly. But they did make a spin-off game that's based around that is NES style, based on Castlevania 3. Fantastic little game. It's about $10. You can get them on pretty much Steam, PlayStation Store, Xbox. Get it. Check it out. If you love Castlevania games, it's very old school and easily one of the best kind of retro games I've played this year. As far as that, I can't really... I did play Detroit. The Detroit game for PlayStation 4. I wasn't too sure how I was going to like that one, as it's kind of an interactive movie. And I know it's kind of making a comeback, that kind of style, but it had a detective element to it, which to me, I'm like, ooh, detective story with robots. You know me, how much I love me some detective story with robots and cyberpunky stuff. Great game. It really tugs at your heart strings. It has a lot of branching off. It shows you the different branches whenever you finish a story element, so it can tell you like where else it could have kind of gone if you made other choices. So you can actually go back and do and do it over again if you want to, and say you could have different outcomes. And every outcome in in this section affects the outcomes later in the game and later in the story for the other characters as well. So, you know, if you did something in one part of the game, it could affect the options later in the game because you did this earlier in the game with another character when they cross over with one another. Very interesting concept. I love the game a lot. I have to replay it again because I do want to play it again because I want to see what the other options are. But do check it out if you have a PlayStation 4. Detroit Become Human. It's a fun game, or it's an interesting game. Developed by Quantic Dream. and they did a couple of games like this before in the past. They did Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain, so it's very much in the vein of that. So do check it out. It's not like Game of the Year potential, but if you're looking for a good cinematic gaming experience, go with that. What else we got this year that I had a chance to play? I think that was about it. Surprisingly, I didn't play too many games this year. To be honest, I don't play. My son just got Red Dead Redemption. From the look of it, it looks amazing. I got to sit down and play that still. A couple of, quite a few gaming compilations came up. I know the Mega Man X collection came out. They have the Mega Man 11 came out this year, which I've been meaning to check out as well. I did play the demo of that. I thought it was pretty fun. But I have to really sit down and really play that to really know if I'm really going to like it or not. I do want to check out Spider-Man, mainly because it looks like Spider-Man's answer to the Arkham series. So I do want to check that out and see how that is. That pretty much wraps up what I can think of as far as gaming for right now. 2019 looks to be a little bit more interesting for me for gaming this year, so I'll probably play a lot more. But again, we'll see how things go. I hope the Nintendo has some great offerings because I'm a big Nintendo fan. I did play Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers was fun. It's a Smash game. Story is but again, it is Smash Brothers Ultimate, and it is the Ultimate version of Smash Brothers. So if you have a Switch, go and get Smash Brothers Ultimate. What are you waiting for? Everybody should have that game. TV shows, you know, my shows are usually, I watch things like the DC stuff on CW, and you know what? I enjoyed all those. The only problem I'm really having right now with those shows is Supergirl. Flash is always kind of fun. It's getting a little too melodrama and soap opera-y last couple seasons, but it looks like they're kind of moving away from that and going back to being fun again, which I really missed in last couple seasons where they just made it kind of a little too dark and dreary. Yeah, thanks. Needed that. Had problem. Arrow. It's Arrow. It's always the same to me. They didn't really reinvent the wheel with that one. They're just keeping it going the way it's going. So I don't really have any complaints there. Supergirl, they're doing something silly where they're doing this whole aliens thing where the aliens are coming in, or illegal aliens. So they're doing the immigration bit. Yay! I need another show that's very over the head with immigration. So they have the villain is what's his name? Liberty. Agent Liberty. And he's kind of got this rhetoric thing going on that you'd see on Fox News. In fact, they even do a Fox News thing where he's in where he is on like a Fox News-esque show, and the name of the host is Sean. Of course it is. And they're very over the top with it, and been trying to show him getting a show on Fox News, and how he's spreading this anti-alien sentiment and all this stuff, and very much making it be very Donald Trump-esque or Alex Jonesy or Sean Hannity. It's very over the top and very heavy-handed, and to be honest, it's really ruining my enjoyment for that show. Gotham continued to be another fantastic season for me. I'm kind of sad that it's ending. The final season starts this week, and I'll be sad to see it go. As a big Batman fan, it's kind of hard for me to say I love a show that doesn't really have Batman in it. But I've loved Gotham since the first season. The casting is fantastic. Every character is different take on what you're used to. It's a fresh, different take on these classic characters. And if you love Batman and haven't checked out Arkham, get off your ass. Go check out Arkham. Seriously. Same with Titans. Titans was an interesting surprise to me. Based on the trailer, yeah, the infamous Fuck Batman trailer, I wasn't quite sure how that was going to go. I loved it. Titans was awesome. I honestly, it was much, much, much better than I thought it was going to be. The pilot was rough, as a standard for those kinds of shows, but most shows. But it was a fantastic, fantastic show. And the The only problem I really had with it was the woman who plays Starfire, the look of Starfire. I don't know why she looks like something out of a really bad 80s comic, but maybe that's the look they're going for, but it doesn't mesh well with the other look and aesthetic of the show. Other than that, everything else is great. Everybody's spot on. The casting is phenomenal. Again, you're seeing people who did Arrow and the Arrowverse shows, which they do a really good job with their casting. The overall plot of the season was plotted out fairly well. It's just a setup for what's to come in the future, revolving around Raven and her relation, and her pretty much being the Antichrist. Not an original story, as they've done this in the comics, and they've done it. Actually, the Teen Titans animated movie that came out recently did a similar plot. But it does add some interesting, more adult and new elements to it, which I enjoy the hell out of. The finale is set up as Robin versus Batman, but in a dream world, which they didn't really hide and probably pissed off a lot of people. But to me, it was interesting. One thing I do say about Titans is the fight choreography is really top notch. Then again, it's from the people who did Arrow and Flash, so I expect nothing to last. I'm also a big Star Trek fan, for those of you who don't know, so I did watch Discovery. It's okay. I don't hate it. There's things not to like. I admit there's quite a bit not to like about Star Trek Discovery. Mainly, Burnham is a wooden, lifeless log who I know she's supposed to be from Vulcan, but oh my god, she cannot act. The actress cannot act for crap. It detracts me from the show when she talks a lot, because it's just like, I know that she's not supposed to have emotion, but not like unemote. It's really off-putting. Other Vulcans I've seen in this series, she's not a Vulcan, she's a human race Vulcan, have done the same thing, but it's not so anti-emotion like that, or just devoid of any. It's almost like you have no acting skill and you're just reading straight from the script at times. That's what it feels like. Not like you're acting like you have no emotion. More like I'm just reading complete bullshit on the. I'm just reading the script directly as it's written and not putting any emphasis on anything. It's bad, but it does have Jason Isaacs, which I loved. Lorca was a great character, one of the most interesting characters in Star Trek I've seen in a while. And was a great, and the twist at the end of the season, while I did see it coming, did introduce a new aspect to the character that I really enjoyed, and I'm sad he probably won't be back next season. Spoiler. The rest of the character, Doug Jones plays Soyuz, or not Soyuz. That's Shelley Out's character, but the first officer is actually played by Doug Jones in makeup. And if you don't know who Doug Jones is, he was Abe Sapien in Hellboy. He does a lot of the works with Guillermo del Toro a lot. He was the gill creature in Shape of Water, if you saw that. He's easily one of the best parts to watch about the show, because his character is so great and so fantastic. Sorry I forgot the names. It's late and I haven't really put too many notes down on this, but I thought that was really good. The surprising show to me was Orville. The Orville was a show that really kind of came out of nowhere to me. As a Star Trek fan, I'm like, okay, Seth MacFarlane's going to be doing a take on Star Trek. Yeah. Probably going to dick and poopy jokes for an hour. And then, maybe some sci-fi stuff mixed in with some low budget to medium budget effects. And make it look like something akin to like Doctor Who from the 90s. Or Doctor Who from the old Doctor Who series, or something from Red Dwarf. Surprisingly, no, didn't get that. What I got was Star Trek. Yeah, he ripped it off and did it right. The Orville is the closest thing to Star Trek I could honestly say I've seen in quite some time. It's not... It still has the MacFarlane-esque humor in it, but he does tone it down quite a bit from like Family Guy or American Dad or Cleveland Show. He tones it down a lot, and it's played more serious with occasional one-liners and banter among the characters that you may see. Not it would be out of place in Star Trek, but not in this universe. But it does have a very optimistic Star Trek feel, and feels more akin to what Gene Roddenberry's vision would be than Discovery is. Discovery is what happens when you watch Battlestar Galactica and decide to make Star Trek. Orville's what happens is when a comedian sees Star Trek and wants to make Star Trek. But has a love and reverence for it, and it works. So, that's my opinion. So that's just my random thoughts on 2018. I'm sure I'll do another video later about the 2019 and other things I see. I just wanted to do a quick little video on my thoughts for 2018. We got stuff coming up pretty soon. Hope to be doing some more retrospectives for Gamers Uplink, and I'll be doing probably a movie TV type show too once we get started with the new year. Again, I'm waiting on getting my internet upgraded and hope to have that done here pretty soon. So once I do, we'll get rocking with that. So be sure to subscribe to me on Facebook on Admiral Joker and Matthew Majeski, and of course on YouTube at Admiral Joker. Please like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. So this is Admiral Joker saying have a good night.